Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new action thriller, Cleaner. And this is from director Martin Campbell of GoldenEye, Casino Royale, and The Mask of Zorro fame. And, he wound up doing Green Lantern, and then post that has basically just been in star-led action thrillers, whether it's Jackie Chan or, Maggie Q or Liam Neeson. You have these action thriller concepts and you put a big name in the center of it. And that's also the Cleaner. You have Daisy Ridley coming off of, obviously most people know her from being Rey in the Star Wars sequels, but she's an extremely talented actor. And this film, even if it's not something that has a lot of depth, she really shines in it. She has a lot of charisma. She brings a lot of personality. You feel her emotional connection to her brother in this film, which is one of the more, main pieces of heart and soul that goes into this film. You feel her anxiety and fear, because this idea of this film is she's a window cleaner, former soldier, because of course. And she's cleaning this giant building during a very big, luscious gala, and a group of environmental activists, some of terrorists, take over this gala. Very Die Hard. There's definitely a lot of elements of Die Hard here. There's a lot of, familiar tropes and cliches that they get from other famous action thrillers. And, Daisy Ridley's character, having this background, having the connection to, the military and, British investigators, stuff like that. It adds into the story. Overall, I think this story is a little overstuffed. This film's only 90 minutes or so, but there's a lot of hanging elements that are thrown in there. There's a lot going on. You have Ridley's character who, we get behind, we empathize with her, we care about her brother who has autism. That's kind of just a thing in it. They don't dig too deep into that. The thing is, this film rushes through some elements that probably could have used some extra breathing room, because there is some potentially, elements narratively that subvert your expectations. Because you have somebody like Clive Owen, who's the leader of this group, but as the film goes on, really it's Taz Skylar's character, who's much more violent and wanting to take down humanity, is the one that takes over and is threatening with bombs and all kinds of stuff in this building. And it is dealing with that idea of, they are doing these things for good reason, trying to protect the planet, but, not doing the best things to try to get that across. And I appreciate at least the film, in some shape or form, does look at that challenge from Joey, Ridley's character, of hey, you're not wrong, but how you're doing is wrong. There's some solid action. I think it's a little over-edited, but it's still well choreographed, it's still intense, and, it leverages, Ridley being on one of those lifts on the side of a giant building trying to wash the windows. And there's some thrilling elements to that part of it, that specific set piece. This avoids trying to use too much CGI, and luckily when it does, it's not the worst. It does avoid a lot of CGI, because you can probably tell, this isn't the biggest budgeted action film, but it still has that, sleek kind of direction that Campbell brought to the protege. It has that kind of vibe. It doesn't feel cheap. It's not particularly stylized or stand out in any ways, but it's at least a sleek, well put together film. This film, for a lean, mean action thriller, has a great lead performance, a little bit of something to say, and some elements that we can connect to, even if it is a little overstuffed and a little contrived at times and borrowing a little too much from Die Hard. It's still a kind of film that has its moments, is a relatively easy watch from a time perspective and from a pacing perspective, and it's a nice vehicle for Daisy Ridley to shine a little bit too. But those are my thoughts on Cleaner. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.